Money can't buy happiness, but is it true? Money can perhaps buy you some happiness, but it all depends on how you spend it. Money, the challenge with money can't buy happiness is that it's only partly correct. When we think typically about spending money, we tend to think about spending money on stuff. A new car, a new TV, the latest sound cancelling headphones, and so on. However, as human beings with complex brains, we also adapt to new things in our environment remarkably well over time. That new TV, at some point, you get used to larger size, the high quality definitions, the excellent sound quality, and it's just the TV now. That new car, at some point, you get used to the heated lush seats, the backup camera, the great satellite radio, and the other great features. And it's just the car now. Buying new stuff won't fill that gap in our self-esteem or in our self-worth. All that said, there are ways in which you can spend your money which is more likely to lead to happiness and well-being. Experiences and donations. When you spend money on an experience like a trip or an outing to a museum, there are several things going on which can increase your happiness. You are getting out of the house and experiencing something that is new. Our brains like novelty. You also create positive memories which you can reflect on later, leading to more sustainable well-being and happiness. When on a trip, you may take pictures and share them with others, creating even more positive and social bonds.
Did you know that it costs more than a penny to make a penny? A coin roughly costs 1.7 cents to manufacture. So theoretically, if you change your savings to coins and then sell them, you will end up richer. There are a lot of things that we still don't know about our money, even though that we use them every single day. But can it buy happiness? Does making more money is going to make you happier? Most people are going to say, that's a dumb question. If having more money isn't making you happy, just hand them over to me. They will certainly make me happy. However, that's not quite accurate, because it turns out that the answer to this question is a little bit more complicated than we have thought. Of course, if you are starving and don't have even a roof over you, every penny is certainly going to make you happier, because they will satisfy your basic needs.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's proceed to the next point, which is happiness comes from within and nothing external. Money can't buy happiness simply because happiness is an emotional state that we get into by doing certain things, thinking about situations, and even feel in ways that trigger our happiness. And all of the above can't really be bought. So, if we can't buy what produces the feeling and emotion of happiness, we can't buy happiness either. For example, the biggest trap almost everybody will fall into for a period of time in life is the if-then trap. If I get this, I will feel that, or when I achieve X, Y, Z, I will be happy or excited. Unfortunately, or not, it doesn't work this way. The reality when it's come to happiness is that we must be able to feel it at this moment, right now. Next point was, money brings with lots of strings and sometimes disgenuine people. The sentiment that money can't buy happiness has been around for decades. Often, those who are struggling with their finances will scoff at it, thinking that they will be happier with more money or less debts and etc. Don't get me wrong, having money is helpful. Knowing that your bills will be paid each month, that you are working towards paying down your debts, and that you have extra left over to save and spend can certainly reduce stress. But at the end of the day, money only gets you so far. The reality is that happiness is internal and comes from a deep understanding of your true self. and that takes time for many people to come to terms with understanding what they need and want. Other than that, happiness is elusive when you are working long and tiring hours. All too often, a higher salary is equated with a greater sense of accomplishment, and with this, a greater sense of happiness. Why are there so many high-flying executives so stressed and detached? Happiness is elusive when you are working long and tiring hours. No matter how well paid your position is, a higher salary involves payoff, whether it be sacrificing your personal time for family, friends, and hobbies, or accepting that your personal identity separate from work will be diminished. Well-paid workers can too easily become cog in a machine, exerting all their efforts for the benefit of management. Happiness hinges on a number of variables that can't all be fulfilled by money.
The definition of happiness changes for you from time to time. When you're earning enough that you should be with the factors like age, education, and experience, you will no longer derive happiness from money. You might as well be sitting on a pile of cash, but you will think of all the time and energies that you have spent in earning that money and at what cost. The time and energies which you could have devoted to your family, yourself, or as a fuel to your passions. Happiness, in my viewpoint, is the perfect harmony of money and intangible things in life. To best exemplify such a situation, take, for example, if you're very comfortable in your current organization and you have a good camaraderie with colleagues and managers, the location is near to your place, and other such plus points, but you are underpaid presently, you will not be happy. The money will never give you happiness and fulfillment, rather, it will kidnap it from you. Agreed, the world is gushing with the love of money. The poor have no place in society. Being poor is a cardinal sin. Yet, money is never a foolproof guarantee of peace. There are those still shedding tears in their bullion vans. There are hordes of rich men crazily affluent enough to flush their toilet with the costliest champagne. Yet, they would readily swap all they have with the commonest man on earth just in exchange for a true smile. Sadly, wealth is a palace and a prison on its own, the latter the world's largest penitentiary buzzing with those who have allowed money to overcome. Money is just a tool in our lives. Any sociology or psychology students will have come across Maslow's hierarchy of needs at some point in their studies. Perhaps you are familiar with them too. In case you are not, Maslow, a renowned American psychologist, created a system to classify the universal needs we all face as human living in society. The needs are as ranked from the most fundamental to the higher level needs: physiological, safety, love or belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Money is just a tool in our lives that enable us to achieve the first two levels of our hierarchical needs. With money, you can buy groceries, a house, the latest security system, whatever. But that is as far as money can take us.
Having money doesn't give your life meaning or purpose. Money makes a lot of things nicer and easier in your life. You can pay your bills, live in a bigger place, drive a better car, take fancier vacations, and buy more things. But having money doesn't give your life meaning or purpose. It can attract the wrong people for the wrong reasons, and it can cause you to make irresponsible decisions because you can afford it. I found that when people become financially successful, they tend to be more intense version of themselves. So if they were kind and philanthropic before, now they can do more. But if they were wrench before, now they are bigger jerk, unfortunately, who feel they can be. Money won't provide deep, abiding happiness. Money is good for many things and can allow one to have many things like cars, bigger house, jewels, theatre tickets, a private island, and so on. All sort of things that must be guarded, maintained, fussed over, and that, while providing moments of happiness, won't provide deep, abiding happiness. While sometimes people need money to have experience, it is this experience that provide both joy at the moment and happy memories. Someone who successfully starts a business they are passionate about and becomes rich along the way may be extremely happy and reach self-actualization, but it is the journey that allows them to do so, not just the financial gain. We do need money to live, but we need a great many other things to be happy. There are many dimensions to happiness, and fulfilling our personal value is certainly one of them. And within the realm of values, money is only one type of motivator. For some people, money and financial security may indeed to be a top value, and for others it may be lower on their list. In either case, every person has multiple core values, and they each fulfill us in different ways. So, when we want to examine what truly motivates us, we have to really spend some time exploring those motivations in a thoughtful and meaningful way. Money for many people is just a tool used to help them honor more important values that drive their happiness.
Working in our passion is the source of true happiness. In today's society, the thoughts that money is source and or needed for one personal happiness is quite a popular belief, but it's just not true. Have you ever seen people in extreme poverty in love? They could care less that they just has a basics. They don't check their bank account before doing the do and possibly making a baby. And they sure as a hell don't care that they cannot afford to go on a luxury vacation. How is that possible? It sure seems possible to majority of us who find ourselves in the middle class. We cannot seem to find this level of happiness and love. The happiness that you think money will bring is usually only temporary. True happiness, the holistic kind, is actually found internally and it's called joy. It is cultivated. The happiness we imagine is based on materialism, relationship and other tangibles that break down, fade and lose their luster. At the moment, all of these things cause is gleam in the eyes, rose colors vision, and other physiology sign of well-being, but the moment pass and what left is emptiness, bitterness, and loss of hope. What money can do is the buy time of pursuit, hobby that nurture the soul, activity that entertain the world, vacation that give an escape, time for friends and family that can mend a broken heart, and offer charitable contribution that fulfill the altruistic. Money cannot buy happiness because the best gifts in life are physical, rather genuine relationship and emotional present friendship. Simply by giving yourself your gift of present is enough. Even the most expensive gift can have no meaning if the giver has no emotional connection with the recipient. The smallest gift can have huge amount of meaning when they are backed by the genuine, loving relationship that a combination of physical, emotion and spiritual aspect. Even the fanciest gift will become old over time. So if you are going to give an expensive gift, give an experience such as concert ticket, a vacation to chair, or other memory that can be talked about for years after.